Hi guys, it's Aaron Intende. Uh, Today I'm bringing you an episode 4, and this episode is one of the episodes I've been bringing up on my channel. That is starting with the first episode, second episode, third episode. So this is the number 4 episode. I'm gonna tell you what it's all about, and there is the last episode will be number 5. So this episode 4, what is it all about? The episode 4 is all about uh, when I went to Kenya for my interviews. I already took you through from the time I was selected, from the time I set up an entry, I was selected, then to the time of medicals, the time I went to Kenya and medicals. Now it will be the time of the interviews. So guys, it was uh, a day like this. So before informing you about the time of my interview and what happened on my interview, let me tell you about how I received and how I prepared for my interviews first. I'll take you uh, through that time. So I received my interview appointment later, that is the 2NL. I received it like in the month of July, at the end of July. So yeah, I received it, and it was a surprise because I was tired of waiting, because I received it in the last 2 months. I would say 3 months, because it's July, August, and September. That is the last 3 months of the fiscal year. Remember, I was a David 2022 winner, and I had done each and everything which I selected as. So after receiving it, first of all, it's interesting when you receive it, you feel like the opportunities are open to you. So what I did, I organized myself and went to Kenya, where my interviews were to be held. So I reached in Kenya, I got an apartment where I would stay, and remember, I did not go alone. I was accompanied by my family members, that is my wife and my child. So we were 3 people. So we were lucky to get that interview, first of all, because it has been a long way struggling to get the interview Dvlottery. So when we reached Kenya, we did the medicals, and after a week, it was time to do the interviews. The time of the interview, first of all, on your twin, on our notification, it was indicated like our interview was 6:30. So we had to arrive there before 6:30 a.m. in the morning. So what we did, we made sure we organized ourselves from 4 a.m. in the morning, and we took a Uber to the embassy. So when we took this Uber, we arrived 5. So when we arrived 5, we had to wait from there. We found a long queue with different selectees having different time of the interview. So we are not the first to arrive, but we found there are a few people from Burundi, from Uganda, from Kenya, from Somalia. So what we did, we we created a few conversation with them, trying to ask them how they are prepared, try to seek some guidance, try to talk to them because we were in the same group. And what I noticed at the embassy, there were Dvlottery and other kind of immigrants. That is, yeah, they were immigrating like children of USA citizen, like family members of USA citizen, through like immigration program, which is not a DV lottery, but it's uh, they were like a partition. So what did we do? We stayed there for a while. Then the security. First of all, at the embassy there is a army, that is Kenyan army, controlling the perimeters and arranging, doing the body checking. So what they did, that army, they told us to line up. Those with kids, they had their own line, and those without kids, they had the normal line. Remember, us, we had a kid. That means we are lucky to be in our own line, which was short. And remember, our interview was 6:30. So 6:30, and having a kid, it was a good thing for us. There were like 3 checks. It was the first, it was the gate. Then when you go inside, there is a body check. Then after the body check, there is a third check. Then you go to the desk. So at the first gate, this is what happened. They asked for the tour now. They asked us for the passport. They asked for the tour now, and they started checking us by our passports. Like, I gave my wife her passport, and I hold my passport and for my child. So the security checked and let us in. When we went in and they did our body check, female are done by female and male were done by male securities. So after that, we went for there is another checkpoint where you leave your belongings. That is like electronic checkpoint. We went to that checkpoint, like metal detector. They check metal detector, and you put your luggage in baskets, just like at the airports. So we went in and put our documents in the basket, and it went through the machine. And they are also checking for drugs. They have their only way they check. They get something. They test all your document. Like, they put it in a solution to check for like drugs and poison, something like that. So they did that. Then afterwards, we left our phones, laptop there. So we went only with our envelopes, with our documents. First of all, when you reach that point and you go inside, you find a very free place, like open place, which has a path which will lead you to the embassy. First of all, it looks good. You just feel like America. Yeah, when you reach there, and it's so cold. Nairobi is so cold. Man, that time I felt like this is different from home. It was so cold. However much it was in the morning, but it was so cold. So we went in and we found a sitting place. That is where you find a desk, where you find their ladies and other security guys who don't have guns. They are just there to help you, to guide you, to answer your questions. But what they do, they call you and they ask us to line up. First of all, when you're going there, they ask you to line up like green card and other immigrants. The second line is for green card. The first line is for other immigrants, the American families and relatives. So what we did, we went, when you reach that desk, they give you a token and they give you a way to arrange your documents. So you arrange according to the format which is listed on that piece of paper. And they also give you information. They tell you that you're going to be called according to your token. So we went and sat. Yeah, we sat there and we are so many. Telling you, we are so many. That's where you wait from. We are so many. We jazz. There is no canteen. There is no automated machine for drinks. So we are there. We are hungry. We remember we had that kid. Our kid was hungry. We could not get him anything. Since we didn't know that in the embassy they allowed drinks and food for the kids, we did not get him anything. Our kid was so hungry. So at the end of the day, what we did, we waited. Then they called people according to their token. Then it was our time. First of all, what they do, they call you, you go inside, you present your documents. Then you come out and wait for the time of your interview. So what happened? We were called and we went in. They take us to the document counter where we present all our documents and we talk to a lady. The lady we found there was a Kenyan lady. She took us through our document and she opened our DS-260. So according to my situation, my DS-260 was there, but I had not filled in a separate DS-260 for my wife and my child. So that lady there said she cannot help me. I had to go out to fill them. So she gave me a gate pass. So I rushed. I told my wife, let's go and do this. And there we got an opportunity to buy our child and ourselves something to eat. We rushed because we never wanted to miss that opportunity. We rushed out. We were like, give way, give way, give way. We went through the security checkpoint. We asked for our mobiles and our wallets. We went out. There is a nearby mall which is always there for people. We went to the mall. We went and filled those separate DS-260. It wasn't easy. Remember, our gate pass was saying 15 minutes. Like they gave us allowance of 15 minutes outside the gates of the embassy. But man, we took like 2 hours and some few minutes. Yeah. So we took, when after the separate DS-260, we came back, we showed our gate pass, we went in. We went to the counter again. When we went to that counter again, the lady told us, man, I gave you a few minutes and you have used almost all a half day. Man, I felt disappointed. I couldn't talk that much, but I told her that it was a long process. So she told us, your time has passed, but I'm gonna give you another chance. We shall call you in the line. So what she did, she checked in the system. She told me, yes, she could find a separate DS-260 for my wife and my child. So she said, all is well, you can go and pay. We went and paid $130 each. $330, $330, $330. That was the visa fee. So after that, what happened? So, guys, those of you who are new to my channel, I wanna welcome you and tell you about what's going on. I'm giving you this fourth episode about my journey to US through diverse visa lottery. So, guys, sit and watch. So, my journey, uh, after the document counter and uh, paying for our interview, the visa fee, we were asked to go back into the queue that will be called when our consular is ready for us. Remember, uh, there is several counters there. There is the first. The first would be for document, then the second will be for like cashier. Then there is several other ones where they call you and there's like three, four, there is three, four, five, six. According to what I remember, there is three, four, five, six. Like when they call you, they will ask you to go to a particular counter where you will be interviewed. It doesn't necessarily mean that there is one interviewer or a consular. There is several of them, but they will just call you randomly, like, please come over to this counter for your interview. And that is the final verdict. So, guys, we went out, we sat. Remember, outside was cold. It was cold, as in the weather was cold. You know, you sit there trembling, you sit there worried, anxious. You talk to people who are going through the same thing. Like, it's not an easy process, man. And it's always there when where you feel like, man, my dream must come true. And at that point, you're always asking yourself, like, are they going to give me the visa, or am I gonna be denied the visa? So we personally, me and my wife, we had our papers. So, and we had our DS26. So I just tried my level best, because at that time we are tired. I tried my level best to take her through the kind of questions we would be asked. So what we did, we were just there seated, bored, waiting, waiting for the final verdict. So some time passed, and the people we were with went in. I saw several of them went in, like, there's one guy called Mayanja. I've ever interviewed him on this channel. He went in. There is another one called Kelvin. Those guys went in, and when they came, like when Mayanja came out, he told me, man, I'm approved. And I was shocked. I was like, what? You're so lucky. I wish it was me. So also there's Somali ladies, other Kenyan ladies who went there. Another sad point, I saw some people, like, they were put on AP, like, and some of them known were denied, but those who were denied, they were so sad. They were, like a certain two ladies went in, and they came out. They told the security guy, not approved. Man, that one choked me. It was so sad. I was like, I was also denied at that moment, because I saw how it feels. Like, you look at someone and it says, no, I was denied. So it something came to my mind, like questions came to my mind, and I was like, why was she denied? Why? But for various reasons, people are denied visas at the Dvlottery interview, people are denied visas. Like some cases which I had when I was sitting there, like the kind of reasons which these two ladies were denied a visa, it was because of some of them education, some of them lying, it was missing documents. Sometimes they deny you and they tell you they put you on epi and they ask you for you to produce certain documents. So you first of all, you feel sad because at that moment you never expected yourself to be on epi, administrative processing, which means that they will put you on administrative processing. They haven't denied you and they haven't approved. Until you produce whatever they're asking for, that's when they will approve your visa online. And sometimes they ask you to send an email, send a document via the email. You don't need to come in person. Some people, they let you go with your passport, and when you produce whatever they want, they ask you to bring the passport for the visa. So let me go back to the story. So what happened as we were waiting from there and seeing people being denied, put on AP, most of them were approved. And most of those people whom I talked to them, whom I talked to at the interview and we became friends, were all approved. For example, Mayanja, as I've told you, Kelvin, and I was lucky to find Kelvin here, and we were in the same company for like for like 7 months. We're in the same company working here in the same building, and I was surprised to find him there. He was the first to get into that company, but now he transferred to another state. He left this state to another state. So what happened after that? So we are called in uh, by our token, like Aaron, go to counter 6. I remember it was counter 6, yeah. We went there. You know, like, it was amazing. We went there. We found this young white guy around. If 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 I'm to talk about how he looked a gentleman. He looked like like a British guy, you know, like he's American, but he looked like a British guy because he was so brown. And he was a nice guy too. He was so nice. We were like, we went there, hi, hi, and he asked us. At that time, our child was sleeping. He asked us to raise our hands and swear. So we were sworn in to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. Me and my wife, we did so. Then he started by asking us questions. He started with me. If I'm to remember exactly the first questions, I started by asking like, what's my name? What do I do for a living? He asked me about the police letters. Remember, I worked. I had an experience in Dubai where I had to provide the Dubai police certificate or UAE police certificate. So I provided most of the documents. So he asked me, have you have if I had ever participated in Dvlottery, and he asked me for my case number. The good thing, I had my case number in my memory. It was something like 5565, something like that. So I mentioned it and he was happy. He said, oh, so you did not get the visa? I said, no, we did not get the visa. That is DV 2020. We did not get the visa. So he said, oh wow. and you got a new chance to get the visa. So he was also happy for me because he knew the whole story what happened to the DV 2020. So when I was here at the interview and I explained to him like I was once selected and I did not get the visa, he was happy for me. Like I got another chance. So then he went on to ask about our marriage. He asked about our marriage. And the good thing with me, I had experience about interviews. So I had produced photos, I had produced a chart of our relationship and photos, extra photos. So he looked at that chart. First of all, I wrote like at the time of dating, at the time of marriage, at the time of visiting our parents, at the time of uh, hospital time when we took our kid to the hospital and my wife's mother came. So those moments were there to show proof that our marriage was genuine. So he was like, "Who is this in the photo?" I told him that is my wife's sister. Oh, okay. So who is this? I told him that is my wife's mother. So I gave him that impression that I used to get support and I used to live with them, like my wife's family, and she also lived with my family. So after that, uh, he went on to ask about my wife. He asked about what my wife does for a living. Remember, I was the first to be asked that kind of question. So it turned to my wife in there. He asked her about uh, what she did for a living. Then he asked about what we're gonna do in America, and uh, he asked about my host. Remember, I had experience. Still, I talk this. I talk about this because it's good to have experience about the interviews. Like you go online and you read about people's interviews experience. So I never lied about anything. And I told him about my sponsor, like he was just a family friend. So he did not ask me that much, though he asked about the address, where I'm gonna live, about Massachusetts. Then he asked what we're gonna do there. We said live, work, and study. That was the better answer for that kind of question. So after that, when he asked us about the state we are going to, then at the end he told us, Aaron, I have approved your case. I mean, at that time I just said I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna thank him. I said thank you so much, and we are full of excitement, though we did not show it. But what he mentioned at last, he said, Aaron, you made a good choice. You made a good choice, like going to Massachusetts, because in Massachusetts you're gonna find so many Ugandan community. So you had made a very wise choice for yourself to go there. So I was like, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. And he handed over our documents, said, I'm gonna keep the passports and take your documents. So our documents scattered, man. I was like, oh, this is it. They were scattered on this table, and you had to put under they were like an open space where you can reach them. So I had to reach them one by one, and I was like, I wish I could run away from here with the green paper before before he denies me. I was happy, we were happy, and he smiled to us. His English was quite loud and clear, and I never got any problem with it. So guys, don't be afraid of that English American guy. He's quite clear, and he's not there to deny you the visa. Us, we were approved and we're happy. We got our document, and we get out of there, and with that green document, which was and well, after giving us that green document, he told us one thing. He told us, have you registered for DHL? If you haven't, there is instructions on this green paper how you're gonna receive your passports the with the visa. Man, I'm gonna stop from here, and what I'm gonna remind you is about the fifth episode, which is about how I got my passports and how I traveled to America and how I started life in America. That will be the last episode. So today I've given you my experience at the interview and how how my day was. So guys, thank you for watching. If I've missed anything, go to the comment, and we shall be able to discuss about that. I love you guys so much. Bye bye. Aaron, intende